Okay, welcome to today's video. I'm going to go over, like yesterday, how I grew my back, step-by-step blueprint, everything you need to know on how to build that demon back, okay? I know you guys would prefer if I were to, articulate how to do the certain exercises and the training cues and all the different tips and tricks that I'm going to give in this presentation in real life. And I will be uploading, you know, in-person workouts where I'll be like narrating what I'm doing and why I'm doing it this way and how I order my exercises and what I do in my exercises to maximize results. I'm sorry, but sometimes I just don't have the time for that. And, you know, so when I don't, I'm just going to give you guys this presentation. But don't worry, I'll be filming in-person workouts for further clarification. But for today, I hope this helps. I think it will in explaining how to train your back for the best results. So without further ado, let me get on with it, bro. Okay. So let me just show you the quick transformation again to put it into perspective. This was my back before I started training it properly, and how I'm about to tell you. So there's a clear difference, right? Width, thickness, everything is different between the left and the right. And I'd say these are like not even a long time like between these photos. I think they're separated by maybe like 6 months. So in a relatively short amount of time, I made a bunch of progress in terms of overall back development. And yeah, again, not don't have the gifted genetics, don't have those, wide lats, that detailed back. So when I tell you that what I'm about to tell you works, it's because it does, and it's because I want the best for you. So please just listen to what I'm about to tell you. So yeah, key tenets, first of all, to build the best back, you have to focus first and foremost on exercise selection. You have to understand biomechanics. You don't really, but essentially you have to know what works the lats, what works the upper back, and what works the spinal erectors to your lower back. And essentially you want, let's say you're doing a back day, right? To put it into perspective, watch my previous back day, and that will show you how you should, um, allocate, how you should decide on your exercise selection, right? So what I did, 2 or 3 exercises for lats with the cable row, the lat pull over and the lat pull downs, 2 sets to failure per each per exercise. Then for my upper back, I did a upper back row. So I did a bent over dumbbell row. And then for my spinal erectors and my lower back, I did back extensions. So you have to focus on exercise selection. You have to make sure you're getting in those 3, or at least some exercise for lats and some exercises for upper back. You don't want to be just doing lats or just doing upper back. You don't want to be just doing rows and not doing your pullovers. You don't want to be just doing lat pull downs and pullovers and not your 90-degree rows where you're squeezing your upper back. So focus on exercise selection. One is the main thing I did when I started giving equal weighting to both upper back rows and lat pullovers and lat pull downs. That's when I saw the best overall development. So make sure you're doing that. Number 2, elbow position. This is something you need to understand because it affects how well you will grow and how much you will grow. Elbow position in the sense that if you want to target your upper back, you have to pull your elbows into your armpits, 90 degrees almost. Okay? If you want to train your lats, you have to pull your elbows into your hips, okay? So down into your hips for lats, back into your armpits for upper back. Remember that elbow position is everything. Now, there's 90 degrees for upper back. There's also 45 degrees, which is also for upper back. So, any 90 to 45 degrees pulling into your armpits is going to hit your upper back or going to bias your upper back more than your lats. And if you're pulling straight into your hips, that's going to, isolate your lats more than your upper back. So learn about elbow position and make sure, again, for 2 movements, you're pulling your elbows into your hips and you're squeezing those lats. For 2 movements, you're pulling your elbows into your armpits and you're retracting your scapula and you're squeezing your upper back. And then proper execution. Of course, this matters. As you know, everything comes down to proper form and execution, especially for back. Okay, your back is behind you. It's harder to get a mind muscle connection with your back. It's harder to feel it working. It's harder to get a pump with your back. So you want to make sure that you're properly, slowly releasing the weight down, feeling the stretch in your lats or your upper back, depending on what you're doing, and squeezing the contraction. Always, always, always squeezing the contraction for 2 seconds, slow, eccentric, getting a maximal stretch in your lats or your upper back, and repeating. Okay, proper execution is key for back. your back won't grow unless you work on a mind muscle connection. Now, this might mean you have to drop the weight. You have to let go of your ego. If you need to do that, do that. Okay, that will serve you well. My back only started growing when I actually lightened the weight and focused on squeezing and stretching and a slow eccentric. Okay, so stop ego lifting on barbell rows or whatever you're doing right now. Lighten the weight and focus on a mind muscle connection, proper execution, and proper form. Now, in terms of things that you need to remember when training, in terms of training cues, I know it would help if I were to show you, IRL, how to put these words into real life training. But if you can always go back to my back workout, which I just uploaded like a couple days ago, to see exactly what I mean. So first point is use a wide grip and a machine that allows you to pull your elbows, allows your elbows to pull back at a 90-degree angle for effective upper back development. So what I just told you, right? If you want to bias the upper back, you have to flare your elbows to 90 degrees and pull straight back. Okay, elbows into armpits. Now look at how I perform the bent over dumbbell rows. That's what I mean. Okay, if you want to squeeze that upper back, you want to grow that upper back, you want to build thickness, you have to be pulling at a 90 degree angle into your armpits. Okay, and ideally you want to have a seat chest supported machine to do this. Okay, and a wide grip. Now this can be done with, as I said, chest supported dumbbell rows, chest supported T-bar rows, chest supported Smith rows, or any chest supported seated rows, which are literally just, your hands are straight out and you're pulling 90 degrees straight back and squeezing and retracting your scapula. Okay, ideally you want to be using a wide grip, okay, to allow you so you can bias your upper back, and you want to be pulling your elbows into your armpits 90 degree angle. Okay, remember that for upper back 90 degree angle, elbows into armpits. Now let me move this here 1 second. Come on. Oh my god, why is this messing with me? Okay, stay. If you don't have a specific machine, as I said, my favorite exercise, because my gym is not the best and it doesn't have the most expansive equipment, I just use dumbbells on an incline bench to replicate the 90 degree row motion for my upper back. So again, refer back to my back workout, which I just uploaded, to see how I do it. So I set up a bench at 30 degrees incline and I just row those dumbbells 90 degrees. I flare my elbows and I row them back and I squeeze and I get a big deep stretch and I repeat. Okay, so if you don't have any of those fancy machines where you can just sit down and it's literally all upper back, you don't have to like lie down. Even, I would even prefer if I just had a chest supported seated row where I'm just sitting down and I'm pulling like this. I know you can't see what I'm doing, but I think you know what I mean. But if you don't, just use dumbbells on an incline bench. That's one of my go-to ones right now, to replicate this upper back rowing motion. All right, next. Now, more exercises. For additional back development, you want to consider 45 degree rows. So just all you have to do is, this is 90 degrees, this is 45 degrees. So turn your palms inwards a bit so that you're rowing at a 45 degree angle to maybe bias the lower traps more. Typically when you do a 90 degree pull back into your armpits versus a 45 degree pull back into your armpits, the difference is when you do your 90 degrees, you're targeting your rhomboids more, and when you do your 45 degree rows, you're targeting your traps or lower traps more. And you might feel a better squeeze if you're doing 45 degree rows. So just adjust your hand position, maybe the seat height on the machine. You may need to bring yourself up more to get that lower squeeze, whereas if you're like down more, you're getting that rhomboid upper squeeze. So just play around with it, but make sure to both have one rowing movement maybe where you're pulling 90 degrees and one rowing movement where you're pulling 45 degrees, just to get overall development of the upper back. Okay. Next, keep your elbow tight to your torso when doing lat exercises to maximize lat engagement. So what I mean by this is what I said before. Pull your elbows into your hips. Whether you're doing cable rows, pull your elbows into your hips. When you're doing single arm lat pull downs, pull your elbows into your hips. Whatever angle you're pulling from, your elbow should always end up at your hips and squeeze down when your elbows are on your hips. Okay, pullovers, pull your elbow down to your hips. Pull downs, elbows into hips. Cable rows, elbows into hips. Everything, elbows into hips for effective lat development and squeeze. Okay. Dumbbell single arm rows provide stability and are great for effective lat development. This is another one of my exercises which I've been throwing in and I've seen great results from. So if you don't know what that is, look up how to perform dumbbell single arm rows. These are great for lats because, again, you can literally just drive that elbow into your hips, and it's so easy to perform. You just, stabilize with your hand on the bench, and you pull single arm, and then you switch and you do it for the other arm. This can also lead to fixing muscle imbalances, making sure that each lat gets an effective workout and ensures balance between both lats. I know a lot of people, especially me, struggle with have a lat imbalance where one's bigger than the other. So this is another great exercise to do, and it's a great one for lat development. Which, if you just looking for my recommendations. Also, I love doing cable pullovers. As you saw in my last video. Unfortunately, I don't have a cable pullover machine, so I just do cable row pullovers, easy bar pullovers, just with the cable. But if you do have a cable pullover machine, this is also a really, really good exercise for targeting your lats. Again, you're pulling down your elbows into your hips and you're squeezing. Remember, elbows into hips for lats, elbows into armpits for upper back. So yeah, these are some exercises that I would recommend for you guys who are looking to grow your back. These are my go-to ones. And so next time you're trying to construct a back workout, do a cable pullover machine, dumbbell single arm rows, and what else do we have here? And a chest supported row, where you're pulling one into 90 degrees and one into 45 degrees, right? And lastly, you want to customize your back workout based on your specific weaknesses. If you have wide lats, if you have flaring lats, but then you look in the mirror and you don't see that detail on your back, then you might want to prioritize rowing. You may want to do, 3 rows and 3 upper back rows and 2 lat movements, or 2 upper back rows, 1 lat movement, and a couple of lower back movements. So you want to customize your back workout based on your weaknesses. If you have good lats and not a detailed back, do more upper back rows. If you want to get wider and you already have like a thick enough back, a lot of detail, then prioritize your pullovers and your pull downs. Okay. This is something you also need to understand when trying to construct your back workout. Again, if you want any advice on that, just check out my last video to see how I do it. But I typically just do a balance. I do 2 upper back rows, 2 lat movements, and 1 lower back movement. And obviously, guys, progressive overload, it's all good and well, having a good mind-muscle connection, getting a good pump, but you need to remember to increase the weight and or the amount of reps you do each week, right? If one week you do lat pull downs for 100 pounds, next week try do them and you get 8 reps. Next week try do 102.5 pounds or 105 pounds, let's say, for 8 reps. Or try do 100 pounds again for 9 reps, and then do it for 10 reps the following week, and then do it for 11 reps the following week, and then do it for 12 reps the following week. So make sure you are getting stronger as well, but also make sure that you are feeling the back working. So feel the back working, prioritize that first, and then make sure you're getting stronger and stronger. You're getting more reps in within the 8 to 12 rep range, or you're increasing the weight, okay, week by week. And prioritize intensity over volume. Although your back can take more volume than, let's say, your chest, you guys want to make sure you're training till failure for 2 sets each exercise. Pick 5 exercises and take 2 sets of failure on each exercise. You need to be training balls to the wall, training hard all the time to see results, especially if you are, an advanced lifter. You're in like your 3rd, 4th, 5th year of training. You need to prioritize intensity. You need to really, really push yourself to see results. So really squeeze, really stretch, really slow down the descent or the negative, and just make your reps as hard as possible, okay? This isn't to say you should sacrifice good form, though. So make sure you're doing good form, but very, very intense. And progressively overloading, and customizing your back workout based on your weaknesses. And if you don't have any weaknesses per se, just balance it then. Do 2 lats, 2 upper back, and 1 lower back. If you need help, just watch my previous video. So thank you for watching. I thought I'd just quickly give you guys a detailed breakdown on how I built my back. Hope this helps. And if you have any questions, ask me in the comments. Check out my newsletter for secrets I don't share on YouTube. Barbell Apparel, which is the company I'm partnered with to go cop some very comfortable clothes and gym apparel. Check out Aesthetic School if you want to work with me one-on-one, so that we can guarantee that you'll build muscle and get shredded within 3 months. You just got to give me 3 months and I'll get you there. or if you just want to join a community of gym bros who are looking to transform their physique and you want access to free courses on how to build muscle, how to lose fat, testosterone, all that stuff, join Aesthetics Club. But with that said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.